UFC Fight Night Font vs. Vera was this weekend, and there were some great fights and fun highlights, but like a lot of events recently, the card wasn't super deep. Now, I know what you're saying, stop complaining about free fights, and you're right, I love fights. I'd rather have fights on to watch than no fights to watch. But that being said, UFC Vegas 53 was headlined by Rob Font versus Marlon Chito Vera, and outside of the main event, there wasn't another ranked fighter on the card. I have previously discussed how the UFC rankings don't matter and they are handled really stupidly. You can watch that video here, and I stand by that assessment. But having only 2 fighters on an entire card be ranked in the top 15 is pretty weak. It makes it seem like these fights don't have much importance in their division. Even the main event, Chito put on a great performance and he should move up the ranks and likely be inside the top 5, but he's still probably 3, maybe 4 fights away from getting a title shot. Is the UFC oversaturating us with fights? Is the need for putting on fight cards every weekend watering down the product? Right now, we're in the middle of a stretch where 14 out of 15 weekends there's a pay-per-view or a fight card. I think there are 2 sides to this. On one side, you could say that if there are constantly fights on, it gives fight nerds like me something to watch, which I do appreciate, but it also exposes a not usual fight fan market to fights more frequently. You'll bring in viewers who otherwise don't watch fights because they're looking for something to watch and they settle on the UFC. I'm sure it happens, and I'm sure they bring in new fans. The other side of that argument is that if you're constantly putting on fights, that means the cards get watered down, and who is going to watch fights 14 out of 15 weeks? I mean, me, I will, and crazy fans will too, but people in the area between non-fan and crazy fan, they'll probably save their viewing time for bigger events. I'm glad that all of these cards mean there's more opportunity for fighters to compete and therefore get paid. And what is crazy is that it always seems like the bad cards or the weak cards always turn out to be amazing with incredible fights, which is a big part of the reason why I watch everything I can, because you just can never tell just by who's on the card how good or bad the fights will be. But maybe, UFC, don't make me feel guilty if I can't watch a card because it's been on for 2 straight months with an event every single weekend. Sometimes you can't just watch a card. Sometimes you have other things in your life. It is weird though. There's like hundreds of football games each year and we don't ask if football is oversaturated, but for some reason it's just different with fights. That might be because each fight card is like 5 or 6 hours long from start to finish, and sometimes they don't end until like 2 in the morning on the East Coast, so maybe that's why. Maybe we can find some middle ground, maybe 2 pay-per-views a month and just 1 fight night. I just think it's better if people can be invested in a card when there's people fighting that A, they're familiar with, and B, the fights will have a direct impact on the division. Do you think the UFC needs more cards, less cards? If you're happy with the current schedule, let me know down in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. There are a few more videos coming out this week, so please subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any of those. They'll be really good, I promise. I'd also suggest you watch one of these videos next. I think they're pretty good too. I will see you all next time. Thanks again for watching.